Hello lovelies, how are you all doing today? I hope you're all well. I'm well, I'm about to start doing some cooking. It's a weird day today. I feel chilly. It's just literally rubbing my hands together. I feel a bit chilly. The sun has been trying to come through at intervals today, although there are some big black clouds in the background just waiting for another dumping. So, I'm cooking soup again. Gorgeous, lovely soup. I mean, I like soup throughout pretty much most of the year. Probably not in the hottest days of summer, but certainly are we in, well, meteorological spring and all that kind, anyway. It's that time of year when it should be getting warmed up. It still feels chilly, so soup it is. And I'm using my lovely new Covent Garden food company, a soup for every day. 365 of their favourite recipes. It's such a great book. If you ever see a copy, grab it. I try, whenever I see a copy, I grab it from my shop. I think I've got a copy in my shop right now, if anyone wants it. But it's a lovely idea because it goes through the year. There's literally a page per day of the year. And so it kind of reflects the seasonality of our vegetables. So if I was to look in, I'm not going to do this right now, but September, October, I would see recipes that include squash, for example, because the squash is starting to come through. At the moment, I'm still in the winter end of things, so there's the 27th of January, for example, leek and potato. But I'm going to go for the 26th of January. I know. We're a bit past January now. But I thought, oh, I've got most of the ingredients. One of the ingredients I don't have, but I haven't had for ages. I'm happy to pick one up. So I'm going to have a go at the sweet potato, cauliflower and spinach dahl soup. And this is something I've talked about often, and you know, I think I've mentioned it with this book too. Quite often I refer to it just for a bit of inspiration, and sometimes I'll look at, in the past I've actually gone to the specific day for the day I'm lacking inspiration. I look at a recipe and I think, that looks gorgeous, exactly as it is, I've got all the ingredients, I'll do it exactly as they've got it in the book. Other times, like this one, I might think, oh, yogurt to serve it with. Well, I'm not going to go to the expense of buying yogurt to serve it with. I'll just leave it out. Or, for example, this one asks for spinach leaves. I'm not going to go and buy spinach leaves. I'll grab some chard from the garden. Bits and bobs. This one's got root ginger in it. And I do use root ginger. So, for instance, my curry paste, I use root ginger. But otherwise, I'm not a huge fan of root ginger. I'm not desperate to have it, so again, it's something I will leave out. It's asking for a teaspoon of hot chili powder. I don't like hot chili. So yeah, the point anyway is, if you've got, you know, recipe books like this, like whatever, and you think one day, oh, I don't know what to cook, what shall we eat tonight, whatever it is, grab one of your recipe books, have a flick through. You might find a recipe, like I say, where you've got most of the ingredients anyway. If there are a couple of ingredients you don't have, you might think, well, like the yogurt, I'll leave it out, I don't want the extra expense. Or, yeah, I'm happy to pop out. I'm happy to pop out and go and buy a couple of extra bits in order to make it up. So, let's go and have a look. I need to get moving. It really is quite chilly, it's a bit disconcerting. And I've got a thermal top on. I'm still wearing thermal tops, goodness me. Let's go and have a look at the gorgeous ingredients for this. Sweet potato, cauliflower and spinach dahl. Can't wait. Oh, lovely ingredients. Now I think this is probably stuff most of you will have, so eminently doable. In terms of, we'll do the spices quickly first. It's some of the usual culprits: turmeric, cumin, coriander, and I have got some chilli flakes. They're kind of mildish though, so yeah, definitely not hot chilli for me. No way, Jose, no thank you. And then an onion is quite a tiddler. You know, most soups start off with an onion and then garlic, but look at the size of this clove. It's huge, absolutely huge. So the recipe calls for 2 cloves. I would be quite tempted to put 4 in because I love my garlic, but I'm just slightly rationing things a little bit at the moment. So 1 massive chunky, this is so big, clove will do. Plus then I've got my stock powder to make up, I'll make up a litre of stock. So in terms of the veggies, the main ingredients, 250 grams of red lentils, and I think that is probably about 250 grams of red lentils. And once I've used these, I've got more to go in the jar. I'll top the jar up. Chard from the garden instead of spinach. A sweet potato. The recipe says 2 medium sweet potatoes. This is quite a big one, so I'm just going to busk it with that. And then the lovely cauliflower. Now this, believe it or not, is half of a cauliflower. It was a massive cauliflower I bought, half of which went into a curry, and the other half is going to go into this soup. Lovely. And what I'll do at the end is I have costed this recipe up, so I'll go through the costings with you when we sit down to eat and try it and hopefully love it. Right, let's get stuck in and do some prep. I've got the onions and garlic chopped up. Not too fine, but they're now just gently sweating away. Not too high a heat, in a tablespoon of olive oil, just waiting for them to go translucent. Then add the spices. In the meantime, I'm getting on with prepping the sweet potato. Obviously the cauliflower, great. When I was prepping it for the other half that I prepped for the curry, I thought, right, I might as well break the rest of it into florets, chuck it in the fridge, and I'll cook it into the soup tomorrow. So that's nice. That feels like a little time saver today. I love it when there's a little moment of time saved. The chard will go in towards the end. I mean, I'll show you this as I go anyway, but the recipe talks about the spinach going in, you know, really right at the end, because spinach, I mean, it's cooked, wilted in 2 minutes. Chard does take a little bit longer, but also I'm making a note now as I share with you that in the recipe it says careful as you add the spinach that you don't break up the vegetables, the other veg. I'm not worried about that because actually I'm going to blend it. The recipe doesn't call for it, but those of you who've been watching, who've watched any of my soup videos before will know I love a blended soup. To me it just makes it, I don't know, it's because it's just so much thicker and more unctuous. So in a couple of minutes, those onions will be nice and soft enough to add the spices. Then I can start adding my other bits. So now is the point at which for me to, actually once the spices go in, just gently cook them for a couple of minutes, and while that's happening, then I'll boil the kettle to get some stock made and ready. It's funny, isn't it, when you do a new recipe for the first time, there's always that kind of slight ergonomics thing of, oh, I've not made it before, so I don't know where I can do my time shortcuts. And it's one of the reasons when I'm cooking with you all that I do try to share that, to say, you know, don't worry about getting all your veg prepped right at the beginning to then do it, because then you'll have, you know, 7 or 8 minutes waiting for the onions to soften, and you're like, well, I've prepped all my veg, what am I going to do? You can do other things obviously, but that's why that's why I share the ergonomics of get the onions in and underway. Don't worry about all the other veg prep, because once the onions are in, that's when you can do your other veg prep. And now my onions should be just about right, and I'm just having a final check. I've missed a bit of a twiggy bit. Honestly, all the leaves out there, they're such a mess, having been absolutely pelted with rain all winter. What I was about to say is that the onions, I think they sound like they're ready for me to add the spices. Let's get adding. Yes, that's just about perfect. So I've got, with the spices, it's a teaspoon of everything apart from the chilli. I'm just doing a pinch. So it's a teaspoon of turmeric, a teaspoon of coriander, a teaspoon of cumin, and just a pinch of the chilli flakes. Like I said, this is all about, I want the taste, I want the warmth, I want all that gorgeousness of the spices. But I don't want to blow the roof of my mouth off or feel like my tongue needs to be removed from my head and placed in a glass of milk overnight. And then you smell it straight away. The oils in the spices, as it were, they'll start to warm up and those gorgeous smells will be released. And that's the point at which I think, oh, I'm going to salivate straight away. Right, so whilst they just warm a bit, put it that way so you can see, I'm going to get my water on, boil some water to make some stock, and then I can chuck everything else in. Despite turning it down to a slightly lower heat, that was all getting a bit excited in there, so I just added a tiny splash of water to deglaze the bottom of the pan so it wouldn't, well, so they wouldn't all start burning. Right, a litre of stock. Oh, always manage to spill a bit. One day a perfect spout will be invented. £250 grams of lentils or thereabouts. Leave that to one side to restock. Get those lentils off. And now the lovely veggies. Gosh, are they all going to fit in? I tell you, it's that cauliflower was huge. I mean, the recipe calls for whole cauliflower, but honestly, oh my giddy goodness, am I going to get it in? I'm determined to get it in. That's pushing it a bit. Is there going to be room for the lid? I don't know if there's going to be room for the chard. I might have to steam the chard separately and then add it. Right, that will have dropped the temperature somewhat, so lid back on, bring the temperature back up, so I bring it up to a simmer now. Once it's at a simmer, turn it down a little bit and let it simmer for about 20 minutes or so, I reckon. Ah, domestic bliss. This was why I wanted to get the angle poise fixed. So I've turned the pan off. The last 5 minutes or so, it's so hot in there it will carry on cooking a bit. In the meantime, get the washing up done. Oh my goodness, so much washing up. And just while I wait for that, I need it to finish cooking a bit, cool a bit, and then I'm going to blend it. But I thought, just let's step outside for a minute. I've opened the back door. I've opened the window as well, actually, because I'm steaming up. Yeah, the daffs didn't come to anything. They produced buds, but didn't open. But yes, let's enjoy a little bit of, on the steps, a bit of bird song for a second. Shall we say hello to the sea? It's all looking a bit hazy over there now. Oh, yay for a dry afternoon. The sparrows were chittering away up in the olive tree just a moment ago, but I think they've, I can hear a few. I think they've gone quiet because of the crows. Where are they? In the shrubbery. Right, let's get back to that soup. Or maybe just a few more minutes out here. It's always, ooh, just taking you onto the down. It's always that thing of, I come out here, I don't want to go back in. And there's been so little time out here this year so far. Okay, right. Back to my soup making. Oh, it's a rib sticker. Oh my goodness, it's so thick and lush. Obviously I've tasted a little bit as I've been going along. Just a note, in case people were wondering about the salt and pepper. I haven't added any. I don't add salt to anything. I just find I don't need it. There's plenty of salt in, sorry, bang bang, plenty of salt in vegetables. But of course, when you make your things, you add salt to your taste. Oh, lush, lush, lush. Right, let's have a little. So that's 5 portions. I'm going to top them all up now. So it'll be 5 portions. Getting it everywhere. 5 portions for the fridge or the freezer, plus I'm going to have a bit now. So I could call it 6 portions. I won't. I'll call it 5 portions, and the reason I'm mentioning that is because I want to go through the costings with you. Like I said, obviously it's been blended, but there are still some bits in it. Right. Actually, you know what? It is 6 portions. Oh, and I must remember to mention the chard and what happened with the chard. Yum. Oh my goodness, I've just given myself a bit now. There is 1 full 6th portion, not 1/6. It's 6 portions I've made. It's so lovely. Oh my goodness. The spices are lovely. They're just warm and flavoursome without being hot. Like I said, I don't like hot spicy. Okay, so with the chard, there was no room for it. That's a 2.5 litre pan. There's no room for it, but never mind. Oh, just getting that spice coming through again. I'd sort of washed, chopped, prepped it. So what I've done for now is it's gone into quite a big Tupperware pot into the fridge, because then when I have my supper tonight, I'm having chilli. So I'll simply steam the chard to have as a sort of aside, well, on top of my chilli. Yummo. Right, so costings. Where did I put my costings? I worked out my costings for 5 portions. Can I do 6 into that quickly? Okay, so the chard was free, of course. I didn't end up using it. The sweet potato was 65 pence. Half of the cauliflower, 60 pence. It was 1.20 for the whole cauliflower. It was a huge one. 250 grams of lentils. I've priced it at 33 pence. That's quite cheap. That's based on buy a 5 kilo bag. That's going to be more if you buy lentils in smaller amounts. The onion, I'm salivating. The onion, 35 pence. The garlic, 5 pence. That's a total of £1.98. Call it £2. I haven't actually priced up the spices. I mean, I don't know how much. Again, I buy the spices in bulk. Pennies. I don't know. Okay, let's just say £2 for now without the spices. Let's assume we have spices on our shelves. So that's working out that's about 35 pence a portion. It's less than 35. It's about 33 pence a portion. 33p per portion. So, and each portion is the equivalent of a tin can. So that's a tin of soup for 33p. But with nothing added, no stuff on the label that you don't know how to read or pronounce or anything. That's really, really yummy. Thank you to the New Covent Garden soup book. And yeah, I've changed it. I've changed bits. So left out the hot chilli, left out the ginger, left out the spinach, left out the yogurt, left out the coriander, doesn't matter. That's a lovely dahl soup. Warming, and of course there's protein in there with the lentils, and yeah, just a really nice way of using sweet potato and cauliflower. Really, really delicate flavours. I've got all of those coming through with all the lovely warming spices too. Really pleased with that. That I think is going to be a regular from now on. I say regular in terms of with the cauliflower. How often do I get a cauliflower? Once every couple of months or so. Generally I like to buy cauliflower to make curry with, so if I'm making a cauliflower curry, I know from now on, oh, get a sweet potato as well in order to make this dahl soup the next day. Yay, chuffed. Alright lovelies, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to do the last bit of the washing up now and put all my divvied portions, they're going to go into the scullery on the marble slab to cool and cool and cool and cool. It won't take them very long. It's not that warm in here. It's about 13 degrees or so in the kitchen at the moment. So once they're cooled, into the freezer, and yay, that's a dead easy lunch on a day when I'm too busy to cook. Brilliant. All right, lovies, until the next one, cheerio.